What's up, Hippo lovers? WTF happened in December 2023, and a bit of the recap of the whole year. I'm already in Berlin in my room that I grew up in. That's why the different setup, and I forgot my microphone stand, so one-armed nearly today. We have a lot of stuff to work through. Let's start this one off with the documentary about the GOAT, the Viper himself, and his YouTube guy. Tiramis did a documentary style format, and lots of people loved that one. He is the GOAT, the greatest player of all time. And what makes him so crazy, it is how incredibly dominant he was. And still is. And yeah, the documentary basically goes through lots of tournaments in the past, how dominant he was, and well, a bit of his downfall as well. And later on goes into the era of Hera and how dominant he was when he overtook the Viper, and well, basically describes the battle between the two of them. Very well received. I have the link down below if you want to give that one a watch. Then we have the 2023 awards. That is basically a list of... Oh, I can't do that single-handedly. Of like more than 600 people out of the community voting for different categories. And I can give you the list of all of those. I didn't think that one through. And yeah, as you can see, that's basically Hera, Player of the Year, Freaking Andy, Most Improved Players. And you can see through all the lists. I also have the link in the description if you want to see second and third place for all this. Quite nice achievement there from the community to have a good overview of what's happened this year. And maybe some new names that you didn't really have on your list yet. Then we had Hidden Cup being announced, one of the most beloved tournaments in the Age of Empires calendar. We didn't have it for 2 years now, since the host T90 was on Facebook, not on Twitch, and didn't really want to host his major flagship tournament and not really have the viewer numbers that he had before. Had the highest viewer numbers till Red Bull joined the scene with Red Bull 5 and Red Bull 6, I believe, having number 1 and 2 all time, and Hidden Cup 4, basically the first, the biggest community run tournament of them all. Basically the main feature there is that we have 16 players, 7 invited from Hidden Cup 4, and you don't know that entities till the tournament is over. It only is through, I think, 4 days of playing. And it is announced to have $40,000 for the main event, $10,000 for the qualification, which is quite a major spread for players that aren't in the top 16, something that T90 is very passionate about. Then we have NAC, the big tournament that's happening in January. Qualifications going on, and especially qualifier number 1 had a lot of upsets there, a lot of people falling, a lot of crazy stories, as we can see Nico falling to Baltier, Tedo in the end going through after being down 3-2. All of those went to deciders in the first qualifier. Big names falling, as we can see Jordan going down, Freaking Andy going down, Willisse underperforming, ACCM against Sebastian in the end going through with 4-3. And then we had Doubt losing to Hard, Winchester also not making it through, and Cito also not making it through. Hard getting his ticket there. One of the, as you can see, comeback player of the year together with Andy, most improved player who's now going through. And then we had Jordan going through, Mihai versus MbL. We will discuss that in a bit. And then we had Freaking Andy going through, therefore Cito losing 4-3 twice, Sebastian not making it, and Doubt going through. So lots of big names not making it, such as Nikov, Winchester. Oh, you saw the whole list. Why did we want to talk about Mihai MbL? Well, we are leading 2-0 here as MbL fans. And then Mihai gets us to game 5. And we are looking at Copenhagen. And where are we? Thought I prepared a clip here somewhere. Ah yeah. And then we got to this situation, and I will tell you what's happening. It looks a bit weird, and MbL felt like it was a bug. Let's take a look at it.
Ja,
Kings are... Uh-oh. Don't tell me it's happening. No way. MbL. $50,000 tournament. 20 HP on the king. This is not happening. MbL won't make it to NAC5. Mihai goes through with a king's knife. GG. MbL didn't. And MbL was really unhappy with that because he clicked the king back to his castle. And now, obviously, lots of discussions are starting. What happened? I 100% believe that MbL did that, and the king movement kind of implied that the king was going up to his base. Obviously, on Regicide, you lose your king, you lose the game. How Age of Empires works is, though, that, for example, for protection, that if you click a king into random dark area and they run into a castle, they go the opposite way. So how kings work in Age of Empires is they forget their task once they get attacked. MbL did not know about that, and a lot of top players didn't know about that, right? Some know it's the same way it works for like 24 years now, but MbL didn't know. And he couldn't believe it and was really, really upset. Obviously, one of the big fan favorites not making it through there. And yeah, really unfortunate situation. And I think he will hear it for a lot of months to come. Poor MbL. And that brings us... Oh yeah, we're already at the NAC5 qualifier. Well, maybe main lineup, something to take a look at. Because that's obviously going to be the main feature of January. With those 10 participants starting in less than a week, actually. Once you see this one. We also have the opening matches. We'll have an extra video for that, discussing all that. And then something that might have been under your radar is microtransactions. Don't get too excited about it or too railed up. There is simply something that Microsoft introduced that you can buy that changes the game's visuals. And now a lot of people think, okay, this can't be bad, right? It doesn't have influence on the game. And it is completely optional, right? You're not getting better by using it. It is not visible for the others. So it is only something to make it more pretty or more enjoyable for you, which is probably fine. But then someone who I believe is a very smart person, Travis Vestura, you've seen him twice in the awards, made a long list how this is a missed opportunity, how they could have introduced this shop in a more useful way, how they could have really added some more value to it. And I think this is actually a pretty good read. And I think that he raised a lot of good points, how Microsoft could have approached this a bit differently. And yeah, this is I think an interesting discussion to be had, and maybe something for a longer podcast. Do we want microtransactions? Do we think this makes it better because we are kind of moving away a bit from this, like, okay, we have to have a next expansion every 4 to 6 months to keep the servers running, right? If we had something to, like, let's say all boars were hippos, I would probably buy that one once for $5, right? Just to have it as a gimmicky thing. And I wouldn't be surprised if like 100 fans are randomly doing it as well. So, or like there's a lot of stuff, right? The Doubt Castle could be like introduced in some fun ways, like playing with the community there. And there can be money raised. It is just so incredibly important that we don't cross the line towards pay to win. If like anything is changed in the slightest of bits, Microsoft said that is not their intention. But obviously, like, once you introduce it, it's easier to get there, right? But they said it's not their intention to get there. And that's obviously the interesting thing, if we ever cross that line. And now we have a new category in WTF. It will be Game of the Month. And it could be the Series of the Month as well. This time it is Game of the Month. I might switch that around. I now have a person that is advising me quite a bit. I will maybe even give you 2 descriptions because we're 2 strong candidates. I will give you this one because it just was very, very emotional to me, and something, an absolute thing of beauty happened here. It is ACCM versus Tedo in a €2,000 tournament, Middle East tournament. The finals, by the way. something you might want to enjoy as well. Hera versus Viper went to the Game 7 decider. It is NAC settings, so very, very comparable in that regard. And this game went into Game 5, and we can see Fortified Clearing, and we see Huns against Burgundians. And now I go on a rant how Burgundians are the strongest civilizations on this one, but as you can see at the timer, it's going to be an absolute bloodbath and goes for a very, very long time. And we see one of the craziest technologies that we basically never see, Atheism, making the relics of the opponent only half as good. And now we just saw it in. Maybe I could have prepared that timestamp as well. And I obviously went apeshit crazy casting this one, because Burgundian player was at 5 relics, and then it's basically 2.5 relics only. And yeah, this one goes for a very, very long time. We are fighting down to some wood. I don't want to spoil it too much, but this is... We've never seen Atheism having this much effect, so I was really, really impressed, and it delivered one of the best games, for sure. Which brings us to Clip of the Month. If you want to see those games and everything I reference, obviously down below. And let's take a look at, I think I prepared 3 Clip of the Month this time. Just because it's a special episode. Let's take a look at this one.
I know what Tato's trying to do with the demos, but Doubt would really have to make a mistake. That flag has been on there for a suspicious amount of time. Doubt going to run in this way. Wow, Doubt into the TC fire even. Wow, Doubt. Oh, don't chase him. Doubt. Doubt. Oh my God! What just happened? Doubt can't believe it. And Doubt says Armenians are what? And Tato says boom! What in the world, man? I didn't think that was ever going to be a possibility. Tato wipes out everything. And that was just the one thing we said that Doubt didn't
want to have to happen. And then an MbL clip, right? We've already seen one from him, but I will give you a second one from him. And this one sparked some joy. MbL versus Andy, I think on a ladder game. And Andy tried to MbL the MbL. Let's see how that one works out for him. Gets the ball back even.
That's too good.
And you heard him laugh. Oh boy.
Why do I even ask?
That was a thing of beauty. And brings us to the highlight. I will have to give you the whole clip. I think it will be 2 minutes of something that you might have seen again, but I think it was one of the most heartbreaking moments I've ever seen. Game 7 decider, winner goes through for the biggest tournament achievement ever for Sebastian. He just reached Castle Age and he's trying to drop a castle.
For now, but he's coming, Nelly. He's coming, and he's gonna make a castle on his face to take the tower, to take the TC, to take everything. But his opponent is sending villages. Unbelievable. He's gonna fight with villages. Oh man, he's fighting with villages, but he has no army here to counter. Oh man, the skirmishes. Is this a disaster now for Sebastian? Oh, he's not letting him make the castle. This is stubborn or not? You gotta tell me, Nelly, what is this?
And skirm production was stopped for Sebastian. That might be a problem. Skirm production was stopped. I think those villagers might delay the castle. They might even deny it. That would be absolutely crazy. The micro still continuing. Obviously, lots of HP on those villagers. Can he maybe wall one in? We are down to 35%. This might be worth multiple $1,000 if this one single castle goes up or if it's denied.
The castle will be up, in my opinion, because he's bringing now 12 villains more. What is really clear, no, stay there. Because if you won't now, it's going to be a problem. You need to stay, even if you lose some villains. The castle need to happen. Or, ladies and gentlemen, doubt castles is going to have a lot of fans here. Unbelievable. This was not needed at all, but the castle need to happen. And even if it's happening, maybe you are dead already, Nilly. Why Sebastian is throwing these cities this way? Or he's not throwing. You gotta tell me. The castle will be up, but at what cost? 16 villains down. Do you really need this? I mean, I was talking about the castle being great, but man, no, man, Nilly.
The castle is not going up. This was the most expensive castle in Uruguayan history. Oh my god, HCM did not underpull villagers. This is the decider. More villagers being pulled, but the skirmer mount is rising. He's walling in the castle. Sebastian, after beating Andy, after beating Jordan, he was 3-2 up against ACCM, was in a leading position in game 6. It was looking so good for him. And now all the villagers, GG, well played. Congrats. ACCM is taking his ticket to Germany and he will return after NSC4. I'm heartbroken for Sebastian. Did I just say NSC4? I obviously meant NSC4. Yeah, that was a crazy clip, and oh boy. I still feel for Sebastian there. Yeah, so very emotional month there for a lot of people. Obviously, so much on the line. And look ahead, NSC 5 is going to happen. Then we have my goodbye week because I will stop actively streaming, and Age of Empires 2. And then we have the Hidden Cup qualification starting. So that will be your full month of January. I hope you enjoyed this one, even if it was a bit longer. That's it from me. Goodbye, Hippo lovers.